Alright, so as you can see, bring we brought back the resource generation also for stones and trees. However, all of these patches look the same if you look at them, so we have a problem with RNG, like random number generator. Other than that, I would say that these are, pretty good. Obviously we need more stuff for being able to get better patches, but I would say that this is a good start. So first thing I guess is to fix these patches because they are not really random. So oops, that's the first thing I would like to do. And I mean, I added a huge list here with to-dos and to-dos throughout the code, but those are just some refactors. And yeah, like the first thing I want to fix is that seed. So when we see this distribution, we send in the same seed every time, but how about adding the coordinates of each tile in the seed somehow, because Perlin noise, yeah, sure, it takes the same seed, like each chunk has the same seed, but each chunk has different coordinates, so maybe we can do the same thing for tiles. Then just do the refactoring, maybe don't care about that much, like to showcase what it happens. I just want to make like chunk plugin doesn't depend on anything, basically. That's how it is right now. And I was like, that's really cool. How about making the tile the same, right? Like tile shouldn't depend on anything. Maybe that's too useless in a way, but I wanted to do that just because, I don't know, just for fun, for some reason, I don't know. Then I wanted to change this distribution. Instead of taking in a size for the, let's say, because right now it does it in a square, right, and it takes in the size, but how about instead of size we can give it a mask and it can generate points inside of that mask, so then we can have like any shape. So right now it's something like this. So this is the square and it can put points anywhere on this square. But what if we give it like something that looks, I don't know, like this, and this is where it can actually place points, and this is where it cannot place points. So yeah, then it puts points around here. I think that would be pretty nice. And yeah, and the next thing that I think should happen pretty soon is adding more tile kinds. So like deep water, more types of land with rules between them, more types of forest, probably more types of rock. And sure, we can also do like, this is like a forest tile, and we can have like forest northwest, for example, which is something like this with forest, right? But I feel like that's not necessarily needed, because we can take, let's say we have our chunk, and let's say it has a 3x3 grid of tiles. So let's say also have this, and we know this is a forest and this is land or something. We don't really need like a forest northwest, because we can detect that it's a northwest kind from the grid and make it like this, right? Like forest should be the entire square, but since it has no neighbors, it's gonna be like more circle-ish like this. So that's one thing. why I think we don't need more tiles than this. I think we can manage that. Like, again, this comes down to making tiles and resources more independent of each other. So tile will just hold the type of a tile. It doesn't care that we place 3 objects in a forest. Like, the tile is just forest because, I don't know, it's forest. Who cares? Like, that's its name. But the fact that we put actual objects in that tile should be on resource plugin. So, and I guess resource plugin, yeah, could work like this somehow. I don't know yet how. And yeah, I also think that like mountains should have some kind of tallness to them. Probably it's gonna look better, but yeah. So right, like this sampler already added a to do here. So instead of size, I'm thinking to give it a mask somehow. And you know, we can take the size from the mask, so it's not big of a deal. Okay. So this thing takes in a seed, right? And let's say we keep it that way, right? We keep it this way. But where do we use where do we use new? So we have some tests, which, I mean, this test is pretty scarred though. I'm just testing that if we have the same sampler we get the same result, but I'm a bit afraid of the floating point numbers. Sometimes they're not equal, right? So maybe there is a almost equal function or something. So we have in resources again, wait 1 second, I have to remember what this does. So yeah, here basically I wanted to reference the noise map from the chunk, but again, I don't know, like resources doesn't need to depend on tiles and chunks. I think it shouldn't need that. And yeah, like generate, so we are gonna have a mask based on the noise and a mask based on the neighbors, and we can combine those 2 masks, right? So that means that we can have stuff like a mask like this, because this is water, for example, and let's say another mask like this because it has the neighbors like that for some reason. So if we combine those 2 masks, we get trees only in this area. So this sampler should give us trees only here. And that's how I'm thinking about it. Because right now you saw that sometimes we have trees in water, and it's funny, I don't know. So this thing, right, should maybe have a hashing function that takes in the seed and tile coordinates, and it gives us a U64 that we can use as a seed. Alright, so honestly, let's just make like a function here. So function hash seed, so it takes in a U64, and I think U32, and Y is gonna be U32. U64. No, I honestly have no idea how this thing should work. Should we just, I don't know, XOR them or something? How about maybe asking ChatGPT for this thing? So I have a seed U64 and two x and y coordinates U32 to combine them together. I don't know how to spell though. Together using some hashing function. U64 for my world generation. Let's see what ChatGPT has to offer. The fuck, it knew that it's Rust? So, oh, that's pretty neat. So, yeah, I guess, makes sense, but was this XXH? Okay, fine, whatever. So, I guess it's pretty neat. Bytes extend. Let's see if this really exists. I'm curious. Nah. I'm gonna tell it, please use std only. Curious. Well, I mean, hash the seed, hash the coordinates. What? Should we try it? That's a good question. Let's see. Wait, I'm curious. Did it start with certainly? Bro, what the fuck is... Anyway. Let's see if this really exists. Okay. So it's... And the internal algorithm is not specified, so it... And its hashes shouldn't be relied over releases. What? Well, I mean, I'm curious what is the value to given hasher. Well, as long as this thing is not random, right? I'm happy with it. Like, as long as this gives us the same number, like, I could have used anything, but I just wanted to let ChatGPT try to solve it. But like, I could have just multiplied the numbers together or XOR them or something, but as long as it's different for each x and y, it's perfect. So where is it? Here. So let's try it. So hash seed, and then cord.x tile cord.y, right? And then we have another new somewhere here. Oh, but this is stone points or something. Yeah, let's see if this fixes the randomness, because that's like the only thing that's kind of left to do. I don't know about you, but I mean, it's looking different, honestly, yeah. But again, like, is too distributed, or I guess stones are too small. You know, I tried one thing that was making the stones smaller, but bro, this like instantly crashed. Like, I think it's too many stones. Like, no, the stones would be a really good example. Let me just take like this screenshot. The fuck? Oh. Okay. Let's try again. Doesn't work. How do I do a new one though? Anyway, doesn't matter. So let's actually, yeah. So like we have stones like this, right? That would be more cool, for example, because of how the neighbors are like this. Maybe, I don't know, let's imagine that down there wasn't anything, you know, something like this maybe, or something, I don't know, right? Like smoother edges, I'm trying to say. So yeah, we'll see how we can do that, but alright, for now, let's pretend that this thing does the job for the moment. So let's say that I'm see whatever of this part. Now I want it to just go to the to-dos that I left in each file, so a bit of refactoring. Yeah, again, like this maybe shouldn't take in tiles per chunk, probably should take in just the size, like these kind of sizes, because like if we search for tile inside of chunk, there's like nothing basically about tiles, so that's pretty cool. Okay, like let's do some simple ones. So I was thinking that obviously this should be chunk config because it has the same name, and I was also thinking that chunk size should be here in inside of this one. So yeah, I think that can make sense for that. And then this one I said should be like noise map, because why not? And this should be generate chunk. And I think that's all for the chunk, right? So we have like a generate, which is like a function that's spawned in here, and the rest of the stuff I think is pretty fine. Like I like this approach of spawning tasks, and see, like I wanted to see where I use the seed. I think here. So here we pass in the seed, right? But and here again we pass in the terrain, so maybe we don't want to do that. And we don't want to depend on terrain config, so to do so we pass in the seed, but because I guess this depends on the position where you sample the noise, because of this it's fine to use the same seed. Like, it's not fine, but it's mandatory to use the same seed to get like the same world. So this one's fine. And then here I think this is a bigger one, so we can leave it for later to pass in a mask inside of size. I think here I don't have anything because this doesn't really matter. Just this one just combines chunk plugin, tile plugin, and resource plugin. Like terrain plugin should combine these three together. So I want to add more tiles, as I said, some cooler tiles. Yeah, so here, for example, I want to switch this up to use the parent. And thing is like tile doesn't really care about anything other than having a parent which can give it the noise map, right? Or maybe, as I said here, the initial values of the current tile. Maybe we don't even need a reference like to noise, we just need a way to generate the initial tiles, like initial options. And this is also interesting because when we do wave function collapse, we can just pass in all of the tiles in here. We don't need to group by. When we do this thing, we can just pass in all of the tiles. Right. Something like that. And maybe we can even take the tiles that are collapsed, and those tiles we can use as a border. And like all these to-dos depend on each other, and it sucks. So yeah, here I think I just want to also take in the corners. That would be all. And I guess resources doesn't matter right now. Just leave it. So wave. I wanted to rename this one, this T. And in propagate, okay, so this would be what, like the kind, right? So we can say kind or something. Does everything still work? Not really. So inside of tile we have some issues. Oh, it's fine. I forgot to save it, I guess. Yeah, because I think that right now, because we do wave function collapse in each chunk, the border doesn't care about the other borders. So that's one thing. I was thinking to have type coordinates or something. And in here maybe this should be a hash map from coordinates to self, actually. Or like a reference to a hash map. Whoa. So hash map, and can it be coord to self? And so like my idea is like this, to switch it up. So before we had vector-based indexing, but now how about having the coordinates of the wave and then the wave itself? So now, you know, this can easily tell which wave is up, down, left or right based on coordinates. Maybe that's better. So this means that this can actually be a hash map of W chord W, right? Think. Okay. Now let's see what's next. So next here usually returns an item, and I was thinking, how about returning W coordinates, right, and W kind, so like the entry from the hash map itself. Okay, let's remove the to-dos. Right, something like that. So here we want to iter mutable, so we can mutate the value. Obviously we don't need to zip it with usize because we have the coordinates. Here filter, that's the wave, so this is the coordinate, and this is, so we don't really care about coordinate, we care about W, and we check if it's collapsed, and then we take the minimum, and I'm curious, what does this return? The coordinate and the wave. Well, actually inside of the match it's important. So here, this is the coordinate, this is the wave, right? Alright. So collapse takes in the self the RNG, and we should probably return in the same order, like coordinate and the collapsed thing. So then here we have coordinate and kind, right? Cord and kind. And return. So I guess we should clone it, or what? Like I just want to not have a reference. Or do I need to dereference it like this or something? Yeah, because I just want, you know, the chord. Maybe you have to specify that chord is, yeah, we'll see, but something like this, right? It's interesting, this one's hash map from baby utils, but who cares? Like let's use the baby utils, maybe. I don't know. So this one might also take in a hash map. Ord and W, right? So it can just do that. And now this is gonna be interesting. Here in propagate we iterate the waves, and we were calling to propagate. So in a way we just want to not even know, like, is there a better way to do it? I mean, I don't know. To iterate just the keys or something, but like coordinate in the wave, we propagate the wave and we return coord, then that, and here we just collect. So this is coord, that's wave. Do we have to okay, so complains about something. I don't know where to write that though. Come on, I have no idea. Okay, and collapse. Probably should return the hash map. So inside of new we pass in a hash map, and in collapse we want to return a hash map. So hash map from coord to kind, right? So we do into iter, and into iter should give us these kind of items, coord and kind. Here I was doing some sorting, which I don't think is needed, but I think I just need to collect. But the question is, where can I say stuff like that? Where also it should be only on the function. Propagate, okay. So maybe we can do it here. So let's try to copy paste exactly what it says. So where that is hash, so where w as wave coord is hash. But I mean, why doesn't it like the core hash or use std? Okay. Interesting. No, but I thought that if I do it here, it's gonna stop complaining about that. Right, why doesn't it? Oh my god. I don't think that's how it works, right? Okay, I mean that. Fucking Rust, dude, come on. Can I really annotate this one? Yeah, like I cannot do that. But I can do it maybe here, right? I cannot. What the fuck can I do then? Bruh. I mean, I don't want to have wave generic with chord because that's not the point, I think. Or is it? I don't know. You know, I want it to be like only one type that works, not any type. like only UVec2 basically, you know. What the actual fuck? Come on, dude. You know what, like UVec2, right? Consider further restricting. But if I do it here, then it's gonna complain in fucking I knows where. Can I do it also here and it stops complaining, or what? Required by a bound, because here it does propagate, right? And it needs this stuff, but I don't get it. How can I say that this type has is restricted? So trait type, I forgot how it's called. Jesus. So it's this type, right? Item, but can it be? Because the default generic. Because I don't really want it to be generic like that. I don't think it makes sense. Like, I don't think it's gonna work. That's what I'm trying to say. Or maybe it does, I don't know. So like wave can have here coordinates generic, and we implement wave UVec for our thing. Can that work? Maybe. But you know, we're not done yet with this example, so maybe there is something useful. Bruh. Oh. Right? Little I have no idea. trade service. No fucking idea what this does. Like we say wave, W is wave and clone, but we cannot say that coord needs to be something. It should make sense to have it here though, like inside of the trait itself. So associated type restricted, okay. Constraints on associated trait types, right? So like this type edging, dude. Holy shit. We can actually have something. What? We can actually... Let's see what this shit is about, so... But can I... Wait, it... Are you fucking kidding me? Like I wasted... Come on, this is so stupid. Like, I've already tried it, but maybe because I imported this stupid hash map thing. Okay, fair enough. It looks like it works. So I remember this is associated type. Math nerds. Okay. So we're fine. But now we have to fix the errors, right? So let's do compile assisted refactoring, right? That's how it's called. Okay. So first thing in tile. This should have type coord is equal to u vec2. And I'm already thinking that probably in the future I'll want the tile coordinates to be global, not depending on the chunk. So let's make it uvec first. Ugh. Just so you know you can do something. Then here propagate should have a hash map. From coord self kind so I have baby utils or std collection. Wait, what? Dude, it's literally the same thing. Am I stupid? Dude, what? Oh, it's self, not self-kind. Okay. And yeah, that's it. So we need the neighbors, right? for that it's much simpler now. We can just pass in the hash map. Wait, but we don't have whoops, we don't have self-code, right? I mean, yeah, we can do that because of implit. So self as wave, right? So now we have the hash map. So we don't even care about checking the indices now. We might as well just do something like self-index. But how does, so get needs a UVec. Okay, so let's comment that out just so we have a reference. And here we need to say, well, I would say self-index minus UVec to new 10, right? It's a borrow. That's pretty lame of you, Mr. Lame. Looks just okay. I guess that's a cleaner way of doing it. And an even cleaner way is to remove all of this crap. And I mean, you know, for the initial part, let's do here plus. Let's not care about okay, let's not care about the names and stuff because we're gonna do a for loop, but we have to change the, so wave function collapse now gets in a hash map. Where is that? Where's that? BH, so waves, right? This is gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be equal, so we have the tile coordinates, that's good. So tile cord, wait, we can make it from here straight up. So we have a filter map with something like tile wave new, but we can do something like tile coord, right, and just collect it. And I guess tile coord needs hash. Tile coordinates EQ and hash, right? And partial EQ. Whatever you say. Little mismatch resolving. Oh, because I forgot to dereference it. What the fuck? And here kind is actually UVec. Let's see what happens. We'll do just .1 it's not the right way, but let's see if it compiles. Oh fuck. See. Yeah. So chord needs a copy trait and probably like what? Clone. Cannot move out. Chord, you know, it makes sense, it needs clone. So let's do that. EQ hash clone. Is that enough? Copy. Like, because here we make a copy of chord to return it. We cannot use the reference, my guess. And the other issue was at line 56, which is the same thing. Like copying the coordinate, right? You kind of have to copy it. Whoopsie doopsie, what the fuck? Attempt to subtract with overflow. Fine. So this is why I'm saying I think we need to switch up from UVEC to IVEC. And have the tile coordinates be global in a way. Right, so probably tile coordinates should be global. So let's go to tile coordinates. Let's make it IVEC, and this should break a lot of things. So, for example, here, right? I mean, this breaks, right? This should take in. This should have IVEC. Right, and this should in fact be IVEC. So I don't think it's gonna complain anymore about, well, oh, because average, let's say this one takes IVEC. C2. Wait, then why are you complaining? Chord is IVEC. Oh. You know what, like, let's make that, like, just want to compile this thing. Come on. Let me compile this bitch. Bruh. Fine, anxiety 32. Jesus. Ah, okay. A lot more problems, I guess. So, I mean, let's actually go to module and here. I mean, you know, we do the tiles per chunk thing, but let's actually do global coordinates instead of local coordinates for tile chord, because I don't want to depend on chunk anymore with tile. So how can we get the right x and y? So right now x and y are from 0 to tiles per chunk. That's fine, but we need to convert them from that to minus to plus, you know, stuff like that. So we have the chunk coordinate, which should be an IVEC. If we multiply this config the tiles per chunk, we should get, so if it's 0 0 is gonna stay 0 0, if it's 1 1 is gonna be 8 8, it's gonna be 8 8, for example. And if we subtract then half of tiles per chunk, we get the top right corner, like -4 -4 or 4 4. And I think that's what we actually need to do. Config that tiles per chunk divided by 2, and this should give us the top left corner of the chunk. So this is the position where we start our thingy. So then we need to do a UVec2 of x and y and add it. But this thing needs to be casted to I32, right? This entire thing also needs to be casted to I32 again. And this can be like, well, it can be UVec as IVEC2. So I think this is the coordinates for the tile. What's the complaint here? Oh, I forgot about new. Okay, so I think that's the real coordinates, like global coordinates, right? Something like, I mean, you know, we can draw. So let's imagine this is the chunk and it's at location 1 1. So if we have 8 tiles per chunk, if we multiply this with 8, we get 8 8, right? If we subtract half, we get 4 4, and I think this corner is 4 4, right? And then we have 0 0 somewhere there, and this is 8 8 here. So then if we add x and y, we get the tile being here or something, I think. Hopefully, we'll see that, if that is actually it or not. Like, my fear is that it's actually like this, but you know, we can just shift it. So let's see what's next. So we've changed the tiles to be with global coordinates, right? Chunk didn't change, this didn't change, resources might have changed though, but tile, what's new in tile? I don't see anything new. Maybe it's this world position. So world position doesn't need chunk size. It only needs tile size. it only needs tile size. So we take the chunk coordinate. Well, we don't need the chunk coordinate, not even the size and whatnot. So we have half tile size, which is good. We have the tile offset, which is tile coordinate multiplied with this. So shouldn't it be like that? It's like multiplying. We don't even need chunk coordinate. Oh, what's funny, I think it's the same as for chunk. It should be in debug. Or what? Oh, here I said just coordinates times chunk size. Okay. So I mean, can try the same thing to world position. So inside of mod, when we spawn this B arch, we give it P. I mean, P doesn't matter, yeah. Because we just do that. Okay, I mean, fair enough. And in tile, we call this to world position. Do we really use it in multiple places? Oh, in resources. That's cooked. So let's not even think about it. Don't even think about it. Because I don't think we even need it. Right, so it's tile coordinates. It's an IVEC, so we just dereference it. And we should multiply it with tile size. Multiply with tile size, right? So as vector. Come on. And oh, actually I misplaced the parentheses, should be here. Oh, and yet again, order of operations. Okay. Like, I think similar to this should do the trick. And then in resources, hash seed now should be I32. Right. And we no longer have to world position, so like to world position is just this kind of stuff. Looks like what P is the vec. So do we multiply it with tile size? Subtract that, and that should be it. I don't know, to be honest. We'll see. Like, I wish you were able to disable this code, and even though it doesn't compile or something. Alright, let's see if this runs actually. So no, it doesn't run. Index out of bounds. The fuck? So in chunk line 58. Okay, now let's actually go to module and let's disable these plugins, right? So that's similar to how I want it to work. Just disable the plugin, we should be able to test chunk, right? Still works. It still works fine, right? Then if I put back tile, again we should be able to test that how we implemented the logic for tile works, but probably it doesn't. Probably it does not. So what is broken? I mean, that's how we spawn it. Well, I guess I have an intuition of what's broken, but it's somewhere where we, you know, use the noise map. So we can literally just search for noise map, like this thing. This does the average. So here we pass in tile an IVEC. But I don't think this is the place. Oh, it actually is. What the fuck? Oh, I know why. Because these are now global coordinates. They are no longer local. Right, they're no longer local coordinates. So it's a good question. How do we so here we have like the global coordinates. Well, you know, we can divide this by tiles per chunk to get the top left corner of the chunk, right? So if we do coordinate divided by tiles per chunk, as I32, we should get back top left corner. And if we check inside of mod, if we add this thing, so we do plus tiles per chunk, so we should get the chunk coordinate. Although the question is, do we really care about chunk coordinate? Huh, weird, because I just want to convert these global coordinates to local coordinates, right? As like for any kind of chunk, so I guess I know. So we divide, and then if we multiply right away, with tiles per chunk. Wait, isn't it just doing modulo? I think it somehow is. So it's like modulo, right? So local. What do we get here? So an IVEC. Now I'm curious. Print ln. What kind of value do we have? What am I doing? Local. If we modulo it. -4 minus. Oh, that's almost. So indeed we have to add tiles per chunk, 32 divided by 2. We have to add that. Right? So it's like 0, 0. That's good. So that's actually coordinates. Let's see. But it's still -7, so should we abs it? What happens if you have, well, I mean, the fuck, experimental, right? You have to test something. So what happens if we do something like -2 modulo 5? Modulo 5. We get -2 back. Let's imagine that we have like this. What I'm expecting to see honestly is -4, right? Okay, so we can just abs it. Let's try it. So what happens if we abs? Still have an IVEC. As UVEC2. So we don't even need those things. Okay, fair enough. But see, it's shifted, as I said. but that's just for drawing. Ooh, although see, like, oh yeah, because I said it's not the right order, but yeah, doesn't matter. Okay, so maybe this thing works. No idea. No. Let's go back to tile. With function collapse. Actually, I forgot where. Oh, here was the change. Right. So we iterate this thing. We don't want to zip with kinds, doesn't make sense, right? We don't need this. We have like child, which is an entity, and here we have a tile coord, right? So qtiles get child okay. Kinds.get. This can be dereferenced. That should be it. So wait, what? Expected reference. Oh, it's one of those things, am I right? And then we have an option, which we can unwrap. And yeah. Oh. And we don't have tile kind with copy. Did I get? I mean, it makes sense. Tile kind should have copy on it. Right. So now it should be the right order for our stuff. For the chunks, I mean. Okay, it's not. Man. What the fuck? Let's see. Here we pass tile coordinates, tiles per chunk, and whatever with noise. I mean, let's do 0.5, just so we have something. I mean, it's fucking shit, but This is gonna be just random, I guess. Yeah, it's just random. Okay. So maybe it's this which is wrong, I don't know. Or maybe it's something else. So tile wave, index, size, whatnot. Do we really need the size though? Is size used anywhere? I don't think so. I don't think we need size. Alright. Because we have like index options and shit, so if we pass in the index as an IVEC and the noise value, that should be enough. Because we have this kind of stuff. Okay. So this checks if we are collapsed. The length, this just takes an option, it's fine. This propagates. So, you know, we take all the neighbors and take the available options. So I don't see how it's wrong in that. So then, really, like, the only thing that can be wrong is this then. Because the thing is, right, and maybe it's wrong what I'm doing here or something in debug tile. Looks like we don't need chunk coordinate. It's cool. So we don't need the parent. So nice. So we have the tile coordinate, tile kind. Tile coordinate and tile kind. This makes sense. This is how big a tile is. Why not? And we just do this kind of stuff. Obviously, we have to maybe add tile size divided by 2 or something. To make it centered, but issue is that, see, we have like grass in the middle of water, so that's why I'm thinking the issue is with the average. Or maybe I'm just rotating stuff for some reason. But no, I don't think so. Like, it looks rotated, but cannot be like. No, but maybe it is actually. Right, like somehow rotated. Okay, so let's see again. Here we pass style coordinates. Okay, so like in mod we create the tiles and we do from 0 to this, right? Let's call these row and column, or should this be y and x, right? Maybe it makes more sense. Like usually the first index is y and the second one. Huh, nothing changed. What the fuck? And yeah, because nothing changed, that's interesting. So, but we have p, which is the chunk position, multiplied with this, we subtract half. Like, sure, it makes sense to do like subtract half, and then we just add x and y. Okay. But see, like I changed the order. Well, shouldn't matter if it's yx or xy because they're gonna be the same tiles. Okay, so that doesn't really matter, right? This can be x, this can be y. Shouldn't matter. We just have to keep in mind that we need to keep the same order. But like when doing y and x, it makes more sense. Y is gonna be the column and x is gonna be the row. So we have row and column. Usually this is what really tricks me with matrix stuff, rows and columns. But anyway, let's go back to tile. Right? So tile wave, we give it a row and column. Let's imagine that this is correct for now, hopefully. So we do some wave collapse. Okay, don't care, this just happens. And we do tile coordinates and we try to get the tile coordinates, right? Try to get that. Which, I mean, should exist, that's why I'm doing unwrap for the moment, but who knows what the fuck happens. But up until this point everything seems fine. Okay, so here we don't really care if it's like neighbor, it's up, down, left, right, we don't care. It's, you know, these kind of indices. So again, this doesn't matter. This does not matter indeed. Even here I think it's not important. Here we have the hash map, so what do we do with it? We just use it to get neighbors. Fair enough. I think that's fine. It's funny, but when we call collapse on everything, where is the thing? It's here. We just iterate every, like, again, doesn't matter, we don't index anything. Again, I don't think it matters. So what the fuck? The only thing that can be wrong is average? Really? Like, this can be the only thing that's wrong, I guess. So I have coordinates. Oh, here I fucked up. Am I right? So I said X is the row. But again, it shouldn't matter. Oh, it matters because of this. I see. Okay, so as I said, X is gonna be the row and Y is gonna be the column. So it's row, column. Right, it's the other way around. But yeah. That's why it looks shifted, but again, it's still shifted. Let's think about it, because this is the issue. So first, this is how we, wait 1 second, this is how we create it, right? Yx, and then we pass in xy. So we have an iteration, the big iteration over the lines, and then the second iteration over the columns. So this is row, y is the row, and x is the column. That's how you usually do it, right? So column and row we have in this UVec, which is gonna turn into an IVec, but whatever. Okay, so here we get row and column order, row, column. So here we iterate over the rows, here we iterate over the columns. Size X, right? But again, it's the same thing. Bruh. It's an oopsie doopsie summer. I think this is fine now. It doesn't look very fine to me though. You know what, let's do something stupid, like if coord is equal to, I don't know, ivec, no, uvec to 0, 0, then return -1 or something. So oh my god, Python developer detected opinion rejected then. It's crazy. So 0, 0 should in fact be water always. I mean, I don't know if that proves anything, but we can see it like that. Okay. don't think it proves anything. So let's use just top left value. Let's ignore this crap and let's just return the top left value, and that's it. Self.map. Let's just try to return the top left, so top left.x. I said x is the fucking row or column, I forgot. Honestly, I don't know. I think x is the row, right? So it's row times server.size x plus top left y. So let's see what the fuck this is about. Okay, so this is u32. Everything is u32. The fuck? Oh, so we can actually just make it as u size. Let's see what happens if we do this. So now is like top left corner for every one, right? And it still looks shit. So yeah, honestly I don't know. I'll try to figure out myself, because I don't think it's interesting to see debugging Rust, to be honest. So no, guess we'll see in the next one. So see you.